I swear, doesn't this just look weird? Like everything looks so weird. Everything looks weird. Everything feels weird. Oh, I saw a video of somebody out at the ocean and they were getting the waves coming in. And as the waves would go over, it looked really dark, but as the waves, the white part would go over and crash, it became iridescent. It was so cool looking. I was like, this has got to be what is like our future. Like what the kind of stuff we're going to have, like iridescent animals and water and stuff. But so there is some weird shit going on, that's for sure. So, and last night was just as weird. I won't go drag us through it, but it's not getting any less weird. It just gets weirder and weirder. Where I'm very aware, like in another world, or is that it's just, I don't know. It's so weird because I don't know, because I would say I'm aware of where I'm at, but there's also things that happen in the room I'm not aware of, but there's fucking talking. Like, oh my God, it's so intense. So, so it tells me things. So, I don't know. I'm exhausted from all this. So, anyways, some of the weird shit. So the cool ass water, it looks like, it looks kind of like when you look up at the sky now and you see those weird colors like around the sun or in the clouds and stuff, like these, like a rainbow everywhere. So that's what the water was looking like. And so there is, you know, a big group of people who are on the dragon thing. Like there's a lot of people on the dragon thing. And the giants, which I totally believe all this stuff is real. And all this stuff is at different sizes. Everything is micro, macro. This is something that keeps being like on my mind. And I don't know like how to explain it, but I know it has to do with stuff. It's like energy. You know, it's always got two sides. It's not one-sided. But it also, it has, okay, wait, because I'm losing the thing. So, oh my gosh, I don't look over there because that guy's got a thing spinning in his hand. It's weird all the time. Like the TV starts, I'll be talking about something and it will catch my eye and I'll be like, oh my God, it's like they're putting the picture up to talk about what I'm showing me, what I'm talking about. Okay, so the, okay, the giant, okay. Okay, so like when you're born, you're birthed into this reality. And then we go through these stages of development. And you got to think everything as micro, macro. And so then we go through these stages of development. And it's trippy too, because I feel like that there's this like spiritual part, the spiritual component to like this passing the baton in the generational link, like our ancestry. Like we're healing stuff that, you know, was done a long time ago. It just is passed forward through this, it's like a baton, like in the visual thing that is how it's represented. Like each one passes the baton to the next one in this lesson link that we are involved in. And it's like certain parts become highlighted and then certain parts recede. So it's like this spinning of both sides, but there's also this breathing in and breathing out of energy. And so some things are in like zoom in and then some things are zoom out. So it's not like when we think about giants and, you know, like giant things, it is at different time periods. It's not like, it's like at this time, we're all going to like learn how to live together, but things will go to like their own climate. Like, I don't know that, you know, we're not going to just have pet dragons or something. It is, things will mind their business and go to their own. Because even when the dragons and this historical events, whatever, in the folklore or something, folklore is where you can count on, I think, but where they say that the dragons came down and were breathing fire and destroying villages, it would have been more than likely that the hunters were going like the same thing that's going on with this guy with his dog got lost and the guy shot his dog. It's really fucking, because people are outraged. Like, he drew in a lot of people on his thing. And people became super outraged. They want justice. And just think about that in our history of learning, where we are now and where we were then at a certain period of time, like as humanity at its worst. Gang, we're right, they're wrong. Even in these old movies where I was watching, like Frankenstein and stuff, you know, the whole village, we're going after Frankenstein. But it would have been the villagers becoming mad, like, we're going after those Rockefellers. Like that's what's playing out. But it was like that then. And so, but we have, because I think of it a lot in Twilight Zone. There's a lot of stuff. Certain things stick out to us through our life. And those things come to us to help us model. It's like to form our brain waves, to form our identity, to form our thought patterns, and to help us to understand ourselves. And it's like a cleansing. This is like a cleansing for the soul. And so in the history, though, like, you think about, like, it's really, really, really dark on, because it's not that long ago of lynching and stuff, like, and then use it fear. It's kind of like they convinced these people who were already citified, they were already cultured, they're already feeding their fear. So they come to a new place and there's these different people that are darker and they speak their own language. They're more savage. They aren't, trying to be all dressed up, and they don't care about the same stuff as we were pushed into caring about in this period of this colonizing shit that it's not just like one period of time. It's like, this is how these people live. This is what these people do. Just take over, take over, take over. They want world dominance. And that's where it goes up further in the hierarchy to where it's a galactic thing. It's like a realm thing. It's because they were being fed information by like the Dracos or something that were they were making trades and using us as like food. And then there's also the other level where our energy is sold, and that's why it's like kept in chaos a lot. Okay, so I'm all over the place now. Hold on. So, but they sold people to be scared. So I'm not saying like these people are all bad people. This is the manipulation of the creation and the like highlighting fear. But this is a part of humanity's growth and lessons. So fear, is a huge part to play in our learning. And but they created all these people to be scared of people who were different. They've used this technique. That's what I noticed always when I would see people who were scared. Even think about after that September situation, a couple decades ago that we still are very focused on, that changed our whole lives at the airport and shit. Think about that. And I really recognize, like, when anywhere you went, if there was a Muslim person around, it was like changed the whole energy. Like, people became so fucking scared. People who you thought were like sane people, logical people, they just grouped them all in together and they were scared of them all. And that's what they do. They play on something in people's minds So it's not like the people are bad people, but they get something manipulated in their mind. And oh, that's why there's so much of this stuff helping to untwist people's minds, where you have to play it out. It's like unraveling a ball of yarn. People's minds and stuff are so twisted up. So they created this, and then there's this other warped thing of this group mind, the trying to get us to control each other. And that's a technique they've used. That was even a lot about that, period of time where the Yahtzees and all that stuff, which I heard some podcast or something, some guy, I don't know if he's a channeler or I have no idea. There's so many different things going at this point. But he said that in the Dracos, they were selling the information. What was it? That wasn't the thing. Selling the information, and they use us for food. They sell us. What was it? Okay, skipping that part. So over there, so people were scared. And then this is the thing too, another part of humans is you give them something with this hierarchy thing. And then they think they're better than somebody else and they wave it in their face and they shake it around and stuff. But that is also based on insecurity and looking for somebody to like them and to feel accepted. So it doesn't not always have a really negative intention, but there is people who have a super negative intention that mean harm on people when they do things. Not just trying to build themselves up, but mean harm on others. That's the difference over intention. But then they create this mindless, it's the group think thing. Like, these are the boundaries we've decided. That's why this is a part of our breaking free, is that there's not somebody over us. There's not somebody deciding the rules for us. And so the group becomes illogical, and religion permeates this constant. It is this way. This is why a lot of people who break free from religion, it's going to take them the longest of these groups, is it because of this mind twisting and this play on the ego and stuff, where I'm better than you, I've got God, my God. These other people, you guys, I don't know what you worship, but this is the real God, my God. So they get very, I'll pray for you. I'll try and get God to serve you favor, but I can't. I can only do so much. It's just like they just look at themselves as better than other people. But that is a part of what this creation, what like each soul that comes is playing out this stuff. But so they created this lynch mob gang thing, and the group gets together. They're the enemy, and they all go after something. And so that has been a part of how things have been for a long time. And those have to do with like the lessons, like I said, the baton, like the lessons, and then the players that come in to take the baton. It is like, it's certain periods of, oh man, it's so perfectly aligned. It's like, okay, so, man, okay. So if you took a race and you made it super intense, it's going up hills, it's going down hills, it's going around the bend, it's going over here, it's going down there. And we did it by a baton, and we all took our part. Each part, like, it would be designed that, I do really good on these parts. This part's going to help me. And so it is perfectly where you come in. Sometimes people come in and out of a certain family line too, and a lineage. And so the things that goes into big and small, and this is something that's trippy, and this is why I had thought about it, is because this is so weird, because this has been on my mind so much. So many things, like getting my explant and stuff. It gives you, I don't know how to explain it. when you change your body out of insecurity, and you think that's going to fix your insecurity, and your insecurity's there still, it lingers, you like it's a whole thing. And then you go back to finding yourself, and you start seeing things different, like it's weird. And so the okay, let me think. So the lineage, so you see things. Okay. Going through there. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So when I was younger, it's so trippy. This is another thing why I say you are big when you're standing next to someone small, and you're small when you're standing next to someone big. And I mean, you totally feel it. You feel that on the inside. It's not just like, oh, okay. I'm talking about like this body this weird thing of trying to have a soul adjust in this image that we think is so real that it is just an image. And so so when I was younger, and I would get clothes, and like I started buying shirts like in large or extra large and stuff because of this situation. And I became a habitual like sleeves up kind of thing always, because nothing was long enough, because I have long limbs. So it's not only was I tall, but then I had long limbs. And so I had, and there wasn't so much, clothes were a lot more basic. There was a lot less stores. Everything was, and then plus that was before they started, all the sweatshops. See, they had to get us to want to jump on fashion, jump on the trend, so that we would they'd be able to fund these warehouses. I mean, the baby breeding ones, clothes, but like, it's just these people who live in these other countries that are already pushed into being under restriction with poverty and stuff. But this stuff has been going on for a while. It's just moving over years, so we're becoming outraged. But it's like, hey, it didn't bother you when that was happening, didn't bother you when that was happening. But it shows that people do care, that they just didn't have the awareness, because now that people are catching on to what's going on in the Middle East and stuff, then they're like freaking out. And it's like, dude, I guess, maybe they wouldn't have been able to handle life if they would have known the whole time. So so anyways, going from this thought of being huge, being so huge. And like I said, it wasn't even until I was at this uniform store, and I was buying uniforms for work. And the lady was helping me. And I don't know if she came in and she was doing measurements or what. I was like one of those little like boutique kind of stores. It wasn't like a whole bunch of people. When you go to some of those, well, unless you go to a uniform department at Walmart or something, but this is a uniform store. And so it's not like a whole bunch of people. You get like one service kind of. And so I don't know, but she was the one who came in and was telling me that I needed like an extra small. I was like, what? And that is when I started being more like, oh, they're supposed to fit here. I didn't, my sleeves would hang down, so I would have them have sleeves. And so I was always wearing clothes too big, and but it's in your mind, you look at yourself in a certain way. So you would see yourself as being like, oh, I'm giant. I'm the hugest person in the world. And then all of a sudden somebody tells you a different size, and it's like, it flips your mind. And so what I had noticed, but going through this thing for so many decades of being like this huge person, and then plus my husband I raised my kids with, he was a little bit shorter than me. I've got like kids, why are you so much taller than him and stuff? Because he was standing next to me too, the leg thing. And people would always know like my hips were way up. And so that would be another thing that it would make him appear shorter too. So I would have kids all the time, why are you taller than your husband? But so I always felt really super giant. And then my kids started growing up, and they started passing me by. At the same time that's happening, my mom is shrinking. And so this is the thing of like this energy, like waving in and out. So in her lessons, it's like, oh, fuck. It's like she's already handed me her lessons. Oh, this is going to make me so emotional. And this is hard to explain because it's like you can see this stuff, so, but to explain it is hard. So, like she's birthed into her time, her period of time where she's carrying the baton. It is, oh man. So there's like a period of time where you are like the focus, where you are carrying the baton. And it's kind of, man, some of this stuff is so emotional to see it. I don't know how to explain it. You just got to work on that part. Which my eyes are fucking, I swear to God, as God be the black seed oil, is with drying it up and then using that horse paste at the same time. I can't even tell you how clear my eyes are becoming. It is the craziest thing. So my vision is clearing at this time, which is so trippy because how that's just a whole thing. But so you have this period of time where, so you come in, you're birthed into your family, your familiar, your family. That's these are your familiar souls. These are the people who came in to learn with you. And not all of them are birthed into your family unit. Some will come in throughout your time scattered as friends. Oh my gosh. Fuck. Okay, so some will come in as friends, some will, man, this is, some will come in like, you can be going through the hardest thing, the most saddest thing, and somebody just opens the door for you and smiles. That's one where people think, oh, I met an angel today. It's like, oh, that was one of your people. But it has that sense of magic and stuff, and you'll feel like this spiritual thing. But a lot of people think, oh, an angel came to help me. And you do have guides and stuff, but those people are like I said, everything is on this timer. Everything is like in perfect time. And so you have interactions, and there is this other energy too, because this other energy does come in and push things out of the way, just like they come in and toss knives at you and fucking knock shit down and all sorts of shit. The other day, the craziest fucking thing happened. I couldn't even believe it. It's just like, what in the hell? Do you guys have nothing better to do? I guess that was a lot of fun for you. It's like, this fall over here, falling down, this falls. It's like, okay, this is fucking mental. So, and they want you to get all worked up and stuff. But anyways, so in the beginning, you are burst in, and you are burst into your familiar, your soul familiar group. Even though it's not familiar to you, and so many people turn on them and think, I would never, I don't even know this family. I would never choose that and all this stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that are said, but in a soul thing, yeah, you know these people no matter what. And it's like, but it's part of the game. It's part of the challenge. It's part of the race. It's part of the relay. So you come in and you like get your hand dealt. You know, each person deals you this hand. And so you're going through getting your hand dealt. which gives you perspective, which can go light or dark. So you can look at it with purpose, or you can look at it as a victim. And so that's where the universe is witnesses how things play out. It's not like they want to control it. They just want to see how it goes in a natural order of things. And so there's natural order. Those are the universal laws. Natural order. What goes up must come down. It's these certain things and certain drives that people initiate that creates certain directions. So, and you can change directions. I definitely, I spent a huge part of my life, even as a spiritual person knowing with purpose, I still went through the period of time of feeling like a victim and feeling like, life's too hard and all that stuff. I struggled a lot. I went through a lot of hard stuff. Lots of bad things happened. But there was also, when you heal, then you realize like you put yourself in harm's way a lot. It's you're the energy. You're the one who's bringing all the shit that comes down on you. And but those are the things that we're here to learn, and then also put things in balance. So it's, remember, you're not this woulda, shoulda, coulda. I should have done it sooner. I wish I woulda. I wish I coulda. It's like you got to just let it go. And so there's a period of time where you are being dealt your hand. Then it's like you begin, it's like, I don't know, like your first dance is the portal to you becoming you or something. It's this, there's this breaking free period where like you become your center. You're no longer just a kid in the family. You become your center. And then you are making choices for yourself. You are living your life in a determination that you are making the choices to direct it. And so that is when you have the baton. That is your time to shine. That is when you have it. Then it is once you've passed it, because you pass it to your kids. And if you don't have kids, it can be you pass it to, somebody else or something, or it can be those lessons are ending. That's stuff like you have to figure out, because there's lots of people who they don't have kids, but then they're really close to like a nephew or a grandchild of their sisters or something. So they still have an effect on the unit, but maybe it wasn't supposed to, that lesson was different. It all depends. And that is why I have always, ever since I was a kid, thought it was a mistake when women would get pregnant and they would think that they were going to go to the clinic to solve it. It was, to me, it was always, but you just got handed that from God. Like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, that's the road, that's your road. But some people, it's a lesson and a consequence. And so, but it is, that's when you are on your journey. And like, to me, my kids saved me. They grounded me. They gave me purpose. So, and I didn't think I could have kids because my period and stuff was all so jacked up, and I definitely looked like an underdeveloped girl. Like I just thought, well, I thought it the whole time because I was so different than the other ones. All the other girls were shorter. There was one other tall girl at school. And I don't know why, because like we were more taller like the guys, that I thought that automatically made you a lesbian. I was sure that she must be a lesbian. I have no idea why I thought that. And I thought everybody probably thought I was a lesbian. And then I had so many girls throughout time hitting on me. I'm telling you, like, they do like tall girls. Anyways, so in that period of time where like I had the baton because I was affecting my kids and stuff, but then they went on their own journeys. And so everybody has their own stuff, and it filters out. It's like, it's trippy because it's like, it goes out into more lessons. is like, it's like this filtering system, and it goes through, expands, and these lessons go out and go out and go out, because it goes through grandkids, like it spreads like this gradation. Like I said, like you put a spot, and then you put a spot of ink, and then you drop water on it, and it spreads out. That is what the energy is like, the energy with us all. So it's like at the period of time when you're there's like this receding in your energy, and it's like you start becoming smaller. It is like you become smaller. And here that they with the aging thing, this whole creation of aging, which so many people are catching on to this now. Like that's on a wave of its own. People are catching on to that. And there's so many more people now who have stopped aging. There's people showing up who haven't been aging, and all sorts of things. And somebody else saying too is confirmation that the that our natural state would be around 35 years old. See, I think it's like around 35 to 45 years old is like where we would all end up being. If we hadn't done that, we would live more like looking 35 or 45 for most of our lives, which should be, I don't know. As one guy said, 350 years, but I've always thought it's like 8. I think we should be able to live until we get bored of it, until we're like, okay, well, we've done everything. But this is like going into the heavens now. So it's like we're just going forever. And but see, you can still change your states of consciousness. You can still leave and go back down into the games and stuff, which that is what ends up happening, is people end up going back to help other people. And then the people who are down being helped think it's the gods and stuff like that. But but it's just as the soul advances and gets up there into where it's just living in the heavens and it's learned and stuff, then it can go back and teach. So so it's like the group that doesn't have the focus anymore starts to shrink, and the group that starts growing, they become the ones who are the carriers now. And even though you continue, but then it's like I don't know, like this learning, this acceptance for yourself. Because that's why, like I had talked about before, like you have so many old people who are bitter and angry and resentful and hold on to so much stuff. And they're sick. You see, that all goes together. They're getting sick because they hate themselves. They hold on to guilt. They feel like nobody cares for them the way that they should be cared for. These are like common themes. That's why it's kind of basic when you start trying to figure out your healing. It's not like, it's pretty, like it's in the toolbox. Like, it's not like you have to go and try and find this unique tool or something. It's just right there. You just have to focus on it. Start dealing with that. And I got all these itches and these things fucking the whole time you're outside, you're getting bit by things you don't see. And then you get these weird itches, these weird bumps and stuff. And it was another weird thing yesterday. I don't know. There's so much weird shit. There's so much weird shit. Oh yeah, I didn't even start talking about that besides iridescent water. Because New Mexico, they were getting evacuated. I don't even know where all, but fuck, New Mexico is so fucking pretty. So many mountains, and it's so absurd. Just so shit. And winter is gonna go right into fire season. Well, that's crazy. Used to be that you used to have the heat and things dry out for a while, but no, let's skip that part. We got extreme weather on the table. We're gonna hit it hard. So so they're being evacuated all of a sudden for a huge fucking fire. I don't even know. This would be one, I'm sure, it'll be just, well, it's out of control, but the wind came in. And now nobody has air to breathe. And this bad tropical storm or something, these crazy hurricanes, something that they've got going with this crazy hurricane season down in the Gulf. So they're going to be hitting that hard. At the neighboring state is on fire. Then Wyoming, where they were just having snowstorms and shit up there, where they've got some earthquake that happened or something and split the fucking line. So they got a split, a road moved, and it's a giant deep crack. And so that's going. And the people who are on the dragon thing, they are, I saw a video, and it was the ring of fire, a dragon being exposed, and there's all this shifting in the tectonic plates, and they're saying that they are coming out. And see, there's a lot of land masses and stuff that are giants. There's giants that are mountains and stuff. That's what I said. It's like this, it's not like, that's the thing, it's not like they're giant and we're little. It is this time of how things are. It would be more you representing your time for your size. Like, I think us humans right now, the humans that we are going to be pretty puny compared to a lot of other things. But it is like we allowed ourselves to become insignificant. And so it's a representation. And these things before, when they were giant, they saw themselves as gods and stuff. But they weren't being, it's just, it's different. It's like on these different levels. Because it's not like we did something wrong to come in, to this experience. It is that we came in for like the betterment of all, like the betterment of the universe, to learn, to fight the battle, and to learn and grow. And then plus, the whole thing is that like none of it's even real anyways. So it's all just this, I allowed myself to go into this dream situation and learn. And then you can go into a dream, into a dream, into a dream, into a dream. Like, it's just this depth to our learning and growing and stuff. So if you came out of your body, your soul would be bigger. Your energy, your aura would be bigger. But it is kind of like the micro, macro, the expression of self is how we allowed ourselves to become small and insignificant. And that is weird, because I have felt like that, like my size is changing. It's weird. And then I'll go around my kids and I will still be smaller. And that is where I kept thinking that there's something to this. There's something to the reason why the one thing recedes and the other goes bigger. It's this energy. It's who's got the baton. But then once you don't have it, it's what do you do? How do you react? Like, because that has to do with the lessons and stuff too. And it's, and you can live a long time. You have a window of time. And they wanted to chop it up. They wanted to make us shaggy to us. But I think, like, we have these near misses. We're in control, just take care of yourself and you can live forever. No, you have a window of time. Doesn't matter. Take care of yourself because you want to take care of your vehicle while you own it. While you're driving it, you want to run good. But you can't prolong it past where it's due date. When it's over, it's over. The ride's over, it's over. And there's nothing you can do about prolonging it or doing, you can't do it wrong. But you can get more with it, get with it and pay attention and, get what you can from the ride, learn and grow. And it's all on these spiritual levels. Like, this is just the dollhouse that we are in. But on the spiritual level, there's lessons in every dollhouse, in every situation. So it is, all of it is about this expansion in the universe. But so right now they have volcanoes. They're supposedly, I don't know, supposedly activity in the volcano by me, Mount St. Helen. And I think it last blew in the 80s. And I was thinking I should look it up because I hadn't lived in Washington State then. And look it up and see what all areas were affected. I know it was, but see, when that stuff starts going, it will be earthquakes and shit too. And it's weird too, is like Wyoming is on the new map, I'm pretty sure. So I was thinking, I wonder if some of these places are changing right now, and then once we start moving to other places, it's already going to be changed. Because I still think that they're trying to low-key evacuate areas to get people into safer zones. But a lot of people are very stubborn. They're very much like, I'm a Californian. It's like, well, go down with the ship then. Because that end of the spectrum's fallen off into the sea. And I saw a map, and it was showing all of the different places that are below sea level. And that map pretty much shows, like, it's basically the doomsday map. So the places that are below sea level. So my place, it still shows like this place is going to be gone. It's just like you just don't know when. It could be next week, or it could be 10 years. Like, but to get your mind open to other options. And to me, I just kind of, I already am open to other options. I'm just waiting for the universe to show me which direction I'm going, because there will be something. You don't have to force things. You don't have to try and think of, you don't have to figure out what's the best thing, what you're supposed to do. I mean, if you're somebody who's very, very passive, it may be a part of your lessons to make choices for yourself, to put it out there, like, because you do need to, show the universe what it is you love and stuff, what it is you want, even though it's already figured out for you. I mean, it's not figured out for you, but it's already in your plan. But you are still here to make these shifts. But your plan's already going to go the way it's going to go. So, or your ride's going to go the way it's going to go. So, but you, throughout your whole life period, you always have times of opportunities. It's so crazy too when you get to this certain point and you start looking back at all the different times where you had people say something to you and you just bypassed it and stuff. Like, we all did this stuff that we complain about now that people are doing. Like, they just don't pay any attention. They just don't pay any attention about what's going on and stuff. We all did that. We all, what was supposed to catch our attention caught our attention. And there is these different segments of time where different things occur. And then each person has their time period of what it is that they are here to observe and to learn and grow and stuff. So nobody's doing it wrong. I just think that it's good to just be more proactive in your life, more aware spiritually of what's going on. I just think that's better. And but that's my opinion. To live by my opinion. But so the energy, it kind of goes in these waves and stuff. It is weird how people like start shrinking. Like, my mom is so small now, and into my kids, when I'm around my kids, and there is a thing, where your kids get bigger, just like if you've ever gone back to your elementary school, you're like, oh my God, this place is so small. I thought it was so big. But so you kind of have that too with kids, but my daughters, a couple of them are tall. And then even the ones that weren't really tall, now I'm kind of more shrunk down to, I'm still taller than a couple of them. But anyways, there's still this thing. Even my grandkids and stuff, taller than me. And so even the girls, the preteen girls, like, they're like my height now. It is just this weird thing. It's like, and you aren't as important in their lives as your period of time. So they are becoming like the bigger energy, and it is where you get to witness the outcome of what you did. Like, man, it's trippy. It is like you get all of this period of time in your life to witness yourself, to gain perspective, to see like how A plus B equals C. Like, you see yourself in the things that you do and how the repercussions carry on. And so you can see, like your grandkids do something that you were doing. And then it's in a lot of things, you do, then you learn, and then you don't want to do it, but then it's passed forward. And so that is where a lot of people, like a lot of grandparents and stuff, like, or their dad or whatever, a lot of people have like right now, especially like their kids being reincarnated, and it's their dad, it's their grandpa. And so there's a lot of that kind of family dynamics where come back in because you want to fix stuff. It's like, well, you'll take that baton again. You want to fix those lessons, but then you get into the thing. You've got the game going against you. Your eyes are covered. You can't remember, and it's like more of a struggle. So you're back to the same thing, but all things are learned, and you're always playing a part in the learning of the overall universe. So that is where you are like a gift to the gods. You are a gift of a god. You are a gift of a creator, because they all learn from your experiencing. And everything is an expansion of the universe, of our as knowledge and experience and wisdom. That's what promotes growth, which creates more light. The dark that is more of the hidden, and where things can stay stagnant. That's why we're going to see such a okay, so I hear stagnation and problem, but in this big part of the awakening, because of what the people don't see and what they don't have an awareness of, and the confusion, and the anger at themselves and stuff. So there's going to be like, it's kind of like where the energy goes out, like this awakening, but then it's going to go back in to the people, and they're going to turn it on themselves and be angry at themselves. They're going to feel so ashamed of themselves. But it's in the dark where they've all been. There's been all that dark energy, but they didn't have awareness. Like they thought it was their own thoughts and stuff. So they did mean things. They've said mean things. They've hurt people, and then they have to face it. There'll be stuff like people will be facing shit they did in first grade, like a bully. That'd be a hard thing. When somebody wakes up to facing themselves. But everybody who, even a bully and stuff, they're doing these things from their own pain. You got to just find forgiveness in your heart for yourself, and then go more into your pain. Your pain, it carries all of the messages, all the determinations of behavior is carried in your pain. And it's up to you to go in and recognize and to take your pain out. Give it its due, acknowledge it, figure out where it came from so you can heal it. And in everything, most bad behaviors go back to pain and fear, the pain and suffering. And that's why they wanted to keep everybody under this pain and suffering, under this mind control, keep everybody policed by everyone else. And so if you thought outside the box, you were ashamed for it. You were a weirdo. You were an outcast. You were nonsense. You was daydreamer, weirdo. You were just not sufficient for the group. Like, The group is very much like, you have to be this way, you have to be that way. But then it all started falling apart. And then that's when we started having so many people, well, you have to do this and say this to make me happy. You've hurt my feelings and stuff. It's like the feeling, it went the other direction. People didn't become stronger. They became weaker, whinier. It's everybody's got to pay attention to how I feel. It's all about me. It's all about me. That's damaged egos. That's hurt and very disconnected from other people's pain. Not realizing that everybody is going through shit. Everybody has pain. It's not just about you. So that is this part of coming out of the illusion of the ego and coming into, is like going into the consciousness of the group without being controlled by the group. But you can have compassion and empathy and see your role and see your part, but you aren't conforming. You are staying strong. It's like rebuilding a new structure to society, to humanity. And before, my stomach's growling like crazy. So, and I'm trying to get off the cookie kick. And it's hard in the morning too. I swear to God, ever since I was a kid, I could just eat sweets, just live off sweets. I did it for a while too. I did weird shit, like lived off ice cream for a while. I did weird stuff always, but I was always really into sweets, but like I wasn't a meat eater. And then for a long time, I wasn't really into vegetables. And I was into sweets. Like even now, I swear to God, I could live off sweet bread. Just eat sweetbreads all the time. If it weren't for my body's reaction where I'll start feeling shaky or something. That's another thing too, is we still have this, our bodies still telling us that we need food and stuff. Oh yeah, it was something with the density with that guy saying something. I still can't see it. But anyways, so man, where did I go off? Was I talking about something different in the first? Oh yeah, because the energy and how it goes. And it creates patterns. But the energies in it, so many. It really is like all these energies going around. And it's... and it is like, oh, it's so crazy. Because it's a guy sitting like in space, holding his hand out. He's got a ball above his hand that looks like an earth kind of, and it's spinning, and it looks like it's got flames coming out. Then he's got above it and below it a universe spinning slowly, and then the one below it spinning slowly. This is going in a different pace. Then in space, everything is moving. All these stars are moving. And that is like what I'm talking about. And all the stars are all the energy. So everything creates the energy that's all around us. That's why there's things and beings and stuff. And every energy has its own state of consciousness. So it has its own reality, which creates its own realm of existence. And that's why we have all these different realms and realities all around us. And it's all these different energies. And it is, we take a focus on the one that we're in the interactions that we have, but it's all like destined. So it is a hyper focus. It is a focus to be able to have the veil over, so you don't have an acknowledgement of all the other things, because it can be too overwhelming. That is what we're going through, this experience now of this being overwhelmed by all of the existence of all things around us. And everything has its own energy and its own movement. There's all these different things happening, and on all different levels. At some levels you would be able to see patterns, and there's patterns of behavior. That is kind of like what we are. It's like, I don't know that we can just break them. Like if we do break our patterns of behavior, that is what we're supposed to do. But there's also of witnessing. Is there's nothing that you're ever doing wrong or you can do good, but it isn't like you can do things wrong. It's not like you can do things bad. It's not like you can get yourself damned to hell forever. It is just, and it's not even like the powers that be are in charge, the watchers, the energy of the higher beings that are in observation. It's not like they are in judgment. It's more like they are in awe of witnessing the possibilities, because there's so many possibilities. Like the tiniest thing can happen. Somebody can drop their shoe and it sets a whole different pattern. It's like that is what they enjoy. It's like where so many people, this is a concept where a lot of people think of is you yourself has endless possibilities every day of every choice that you make, putting you in a new frame of existence. So we all have these possibilities, and we can play out all these different things. Like even in the movies lately where they show like in a different reality you're this, in a different reality you're that. But that is also in reincarnation. But reincarnation is also just like a thought. And so the a thought of an entering an existence, a period of time too. But none of it's real. That's the thing. It's all like movies. It's like, so it's like dreams. But so the so the person, oh man, some of these things. Okay, so the person who is a state of existence, so they are, okay, so then you have the person who thinks like they are all these possibilities. But the way I see it is that all the people are all the possibilities. So it's not just me that could have an endless shuffling of possibilities. Like each moment that you made a choice, you could have made a different choice and set things off in a different direction, which I feel like it's more of a determination, like of determining, you know, if you're a victim or if you have purpose, and making that choice for yourself. And that it puts you on these different timelines. But to me, of all of the things that, my nose is dripping. It's so crazy too. Like there's definitely a cavity back here, and my eyes feel less spongy and stuff too. And I can see so clear. This is still a little fuzzy, but outside, oh my gosh, everything is so sharp and bright. And I only see like a few. Yesterday I was laying out and I did see some crazy looking fucking bug in my eye. But there's way less. I think they're drying up and being murdered by the paste. So the person, oh yeah, okay, so that is what I see, is that all of us are playing them out. It's not just me. It's all of us are the me's. And that is why you are in every person. Why you can look at every person. I think like I swear you can look at people and see yourself. Like there's so many people you can see like, oh, I look kind of like them. Oh, I look kind of like them. And there's something to that. And so anyways, I think that all of the things playing out are being played out. It's not like, well, maybe. No, it's being played out. The universe is watching. And every possibility is being played out. So there is somebody who did that turn that way. There is somebody who walked up that way. There is somebody who met that way. We all are going through all the things. That's why the more that we can come together and love each other and value the experiences, the more that we can take the value from the experiences of all things, because we then are partaking in the value of the experience at another level. That is more of the spiritual, the higher minded level, in the coming together and acceptance and being able to elevate, is like elevate all of humanity, all of mankind. But at the same time, we do have these other things that seem to be coming back to life. And I don't know if that is going to be some shifts, like fucking a mountain's going to all of a sudden stand up. I don't know if it's going to go that far. I don't know if there's really shifts happening as dragons and monsters are coming back out of the sea. The footage of the iridescent waves was super cool. And then there's also this thing with the dark water. Now there's sharks showing up over. There was a ton by South Carolina, or by I think by South Carolina too, but by Florida. Now they're being over in California. I don't know if they're going to be all down in the Gulf, whatever goes on with these hurricanes and stuff. But there is, oh, and there's crazy stuff still going in the skies and stuff. So everything is building to this, what is that called? It's like in the orchestra or something. It's building up to a crescendo, I think it's called. It's this build up, and maybe the crescendo is the thing, like the wah, like if you think of life as this symphony, like oh, like this part is treacherous, man. There would be some drama, but there would be a part where it's like everything clashes, like all of the sounds that can be made, those big things. What are those things called that they hit them in together, and they're like these big bell things or something crashing. So there's this part in the symphony where it's all going to, that is the part where the awakening part, that's the part is going to be, is this part in the symphony. I mean, it's kind of on some levels, they all see different things. It's kind of like it is being watched like a symphony, like this beautiful thing playing out like a ballet. And, you know, we feel like we're trudging around or something, but really it's a beautiful dance that is happening for humanity. Oh my gosh, it's so emotional. Fuck. Like, this is really a big thing for, this isn't just like us. It's just like it's like a whole long thing for a long time. And now it's reaching this point. It's like the end of the relay. It's like we were all going through, and it's the end of the relay. And this is that big clash. Yeah, it's like the gun's going off. It's the end of it. But then it's going to, there's still got to be a part of this healing part, this letting go of what was, in order, because it's part of a process. It's like anything that goes through loss, there's always a process. This was like, you go through guilt and anger. Oh yeah, and that guy whose dog, that's one of the stories I was telling, is that guy, he's got all these people who want him to go get justice and stuff like that. And it's really sad too, is that he had even gone over to this guy's trailer and helped him move something. So he had seen their chicken coop and stuff. And so he had contact with this guy. The guy even called him days later and told him that he had done his dog in. He could have fucking called that day and said, hey, your dog's over here harassing my chickens. You need to come get him. Like, that's where you see things have to play out the way they play out. Because, I mean, it's just so obvious. Like, well, you could have had respect. You could have done things in a very different way. These people are handling it very different. They are very looking at it on a spiritual level, if you ask me. But the people who are trying to guide them and direct them want them to go into this mob group, you know, lynch the guy, you know, this is bullshit. And then when the guy was like, you know, they don't, because he was like, that night, if I didn't have somebody there with me, he would be in jail now. Oh, I totally get that. Like, that would be the thing. If something happened, if somebody did something to Stella right there, they better just, that would be it. You know, I would do it right back to them. And they'd have to do it to me too. And so that instant reaction, that instant survival thing. But once you separate and you take time to think and think things through, then you start seeing like there's repercussions. And not just in the physical, there's repercussions in the spiritual. You got to let the spiritual side play it out. And, you know, you don't know like what the deal is, what this guy's lessons are and stuff. And that is, you know, there's a lot of trauma for us all in certain lessons and stuff. And it doesn't feel so much like this would be happening for spiritual purpose, but it always is. And so the people, though, when the cards are down or whatever, what they decided to do, because they had other people outreaching to them on, I don't know, some kind of a thing that they're helping now with, because all their donations now are going towards helping people. So if you don't have any money and you don't have a fence or something, then you their a donation of it's some kind of a GPS tracking thing that also keeps your dog near. So I don't know if it's an invisible fence tracker thing, but they're set up to give those to people with this company. So they're setting up a whole fund to try and help other people and help other people. They said too that they work at the shelter. His wife works at the shelter. He volunteers there, and he said he's seen the most horrific things. So where these people want him to charge them with animal cruelty and stuff, the state where they're in, it doesn't matter. Just like in Wyoming, and there's certain places where it just doesn't matter. Like that, those Wyoming is splitting in half and it won't stand up for the animals. And it's a wildlife place too. Like, I think that they are more, but that's why I said, like, there's energies. There's a whole there's so much bigger stuff happening on an energetic, spiritual level than, and it feels like chaos. So, but you got to stay centered. And, you know, what things come to you are your things. Not everything going on is not all of our problem. It's as much as you interject yourself. But there's a lot of people who are interjected into his thing. And he said that even that there was and I heard about this, unless this has happened a bunch of times, which fucking could be. Like, fuck, people are cruel. A guy was caught on a bridge, and he had a box of puppies. In a snowstorm, he threw them over the bridge. And then when they got him, there was only one that survived. He went to court and got nothing. It was no big deal. So the guy's like, that's not what our judicial cares about here. They don't have a thing about protecting animals. I'm not sure where he's at. He's definitely out, like in the country. I mean, he's doing off-grid. And the person who took his animal out was also, it's just like, that's not community. That's not camaraderie. That's not safe, you know. I would say that guy, I don't know, he's either going to have some big lessons to come, or he won't make it. Like, through a storm will take him out or something. Because that's going to be the thing. It's like the universe is weeding out certain energies. It's a certain energy that goes forward. And but like, again, I'm not saying that everybody who leaves is like, because there's a lot of people who leave to be the catalyst for your healing, so that then you'll just meet up with them down the road, once we get to that part. And people who are here to go through this part, to me, it's like the seeders, it's like the historians, it's like the storytellers. It's like we go through all of this stuff, and then we carry it forward to not only make a new design, a new template, but also as the historians and the truth tellers, the storytellers to the future generations. So it's like the story that stays alive for a long time. And it stays alive through us and through what we experienced through this changeover. So it has great significance. And it's like the cedars. That's how I keep seeing it. The cedars of the new world. But it's not like it's exclusive. Like, everybody's going to be able to go, but there's roles that are being played. And so the people who are here to go through all of this hard stuff, because this is going to be hard stuff to get to the new thing. But the where we're going is going to be great, and we're all going to get there at different times, I think. It depends on what you were supposed to go through. But that is what the people are, where people are, oh, they're the chosen. You're chosen as soon as you choose yourself. As soon as you choose you and prioritize you and not just your ego, as soon as you prioritize time and healing and your own destiny, your own value, that is when you're chosen. But the people who are here to go forward, to walk the bridge to the age of Aquarius, those people to me are the seeders, are the ones to bring the stories forward. Because the people who die and leave the story throughout this period of time, they don't get the whole view. Like, there's going to be a lot of us that stay the whole time and witness and go through all these different things. And there's going to be a lot of people are going to have crazy stories. There's going to be people who are going to be heroes, miracles, like all sorts of crazy stories. And all those stories will go forward into our society. So it's very necessary. But it's not like, oh, the awakening and the chosen and all this, what they're trying to make it like, it's you choosing you, but you're still going to go through some shit. And going through the shit shows you what you're made of. And that's what you're trying to see as a soul. What are you made of? Are you a weak ass bitch? Are you strong? And are you delicate? Are you tough? It's you getting to decide and make the determination of where it is you want to be. This was kind of strange, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way. My stomach is growling like crazy, so I'm going to go after this. But this just really struck me. And and I know there's lots of guys who are passive. I'm not saying all guys need to get their dukes up or anything like that. And but this was like, there's like two different ones, because I had this other trans person on my mind the other day, because they were going to get implants. And I had said in their comments, I was like, don't do it. And but they did and stuff. And I was looking at that already as like, that is one thing. They get these people stuck, oh, well, you're going to feel better as a woman. Well, you'll feel better once you have boobs. Well, you'll feel better if you had a vagina. Well, you'll feel better. It just starts out, well, grow your hair, dress in some dresses, put on some makeup, those kinds of things at first. And then it's a transition, but it's a scientific transition where it's like, convince you, oh, well, if you get this part, you'll be happy then. Well, it's okay, you're not happy yet. Just do this next part, this next part, this next part, this next part. And then none of those things are going to make you happy. But so anyways, but that's, each person has to find and figure for themselves. But this one was kind of strange because it was a woman, a trans woman, and was with a fella, and the fella was very small. And but that's the thing, this person could be big or this person could be small. It's hard to tell. And but the woman one was crying and very emotional and very dramatic. And some guys had just punched him in the face. They were someplace, and some guys started giving him trouble and calling him a dude or something, and punched him in the face. And then I don't know if the smaller friend tried to stand up for him and he got punched too. But the woman character was crying and very emotional and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, I wonder if he was like that as a guy, or if it was like, once he became a girl, he gave himself permission to become, like how they market women to be. Because we're not all blubbering idiots and whining and crying about everything. I know lots of girls don't cry about shit. In the old movies, they always make it like that was just, if you're a woman, well, you're hysterical, you've got emotional problems, we'll try and find a man to help you along in life because you've got issues. And it's kind of like through our teachings, through with men and stuff, that has been a part of how like they look at women. So many men look at women like, well, they're emotional basket case. They can't handle this. They can't handle that. And so then to become a woman and then to become like that, I don't know, because it's not like all women are like that. It's like another thing I was thinking about too is because like if I go put on a bunch of makeup, I feel like I look like a drag queen. And now we got all this stuff going with makeup and natural and all these people doing these videos and talking and stuff. And I was thinking, you know, some girls look good in makeup and stuff, but I wonder how many of them, like they like that drag queen look. Like they like that look, you know, and then some of us just don't like that real made up look. But I kind of feel like everybody kind of gets that look. And it kind of is like a caricature. It's kind of like making fun, but they built it off of people's insecurities, like feeling like you're not good enough. And the only reason you feel like you're not good enough is because you're comparing yourself to somebody else. But that is what they have created out of all this, you know, people comparing themselves and not feeling good enough. So it's important to stop comparing yourself to everybody, learn to love yourself, learn to love everybody else, and have a loving day because it's up to you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.